Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at Cardano. This is going to be a lower time frame video. There is a higher time frame video up above here. Check this out if that is more your style. Okay, so let's get into the price action and see what's going on. Okay, so looking at the bullish standpoint here, what we are looking for is the potential that we have this as a 1-2, looking at this as another 1-2, and then actually looking to push to the upside here. So the thing within this count is we would be treating this as an expanding diagonal. So this is a low confidence count here. Now, what we also need to be aware of is that if this is an expanding diagonal, this could just be ABC, and then this could actually be a completed move, in which case we could be looking for a move back down here in this trend, into this trend line. So we need to be aware of that. Now, if we are looking at this bullish count, what we'd be saying is we've actually come down here into this golden pocket already towards this 35.20 to this 34.70. Now, if this is the case, what we could be doing is building a series of 1s and 2s here, actually looking to progress to the upside. So now we're going to go over those counts. Now, if we were looking at this, effectively what we'd be looking for is a move up past this zone of this 40.96, and that would be looking for this yellow third wave. Now, what we would have to argue within this count is that we would have actually had this as an additional 5-wave move. Now, we need to be careful because this could just be A, B, and C, but as long as we continue to set these higher lows here, we could actually be setting up for another 1 and a 2 here. So this is what we are looking for if we are looking for that good bullish structure to actually develop. So I'm going to come down in here and we're going to go over this. So we would be looking at this once again as a 1 and a 2. Now this is valid for as long as we continue to hold this 36.06. Now what we're looking for here is the potential that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we've actually come into this target box area here, which would be this 38.31 and this 38.07. Now what I want to see here is a reaction off this level and a drop back to the downside, looking to find support again above this 36.47. If we do manage to hold support above this 36.47, we could actually look for continuation to the upside. Now, looking at this, we need to also just bear in mind that this 0.382 at this higher range here, this 37.22, could actually be where we see a shallower retracement come in if we are looking at having this play out in this way. One thing we also can't rule out, if this is a 1-2 and we're actually looking for a third wave, sometimes third waves can have a shallower retracement, and what we could actually have here is that we could already have a 1-2 in place. So this would be counting this move slightly different as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, in which case we could actually have this as a correction already completed for a wave 2. And now what this would actually be indicating is that we could actually see this push up directly without a deeper retracement down into this target box. So we're looking for this 37.22 to this 36.47. Now, if this is the case, what we'd be looking for is actually a direct push to the upside. We would see this third wave look for this 40.46 area. So this would be our key zone we'd be looking for if we are actually looking for that possibility of a progression directly to the upside here. What we could see is a move up towards this 40.46, and then we would have to start counting this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now what we would want to do ideally with this 5-wave move is cross this zone of this 41.59, and then that would tie in with this idea of continuing to push up for this bigger third wave. Now if we do however see the orange count take place, what we could have is a completion into this box area here of this 38.31 to this 38.07, which we're currently sitting within, and then we could see this drop to the downside, in which case if we do hold up at this 0.618, which would be this 36.78, what we could see is a third wave which is looking to target out this 40.28. Now if we had to only come down to this 382 again, this would actually push us up to this 40.76. So gonna have to keep an eye on this. If this does continue to show impulsiveness here, we could actually be looking to build a bigger impulsive structure here, looking for this zone of this 41.59 for this bigger wave 3. Now the target for that would be that 43.03 to this 42.14. Now if we overlay the additional count on here, what this would actually mean then is that we actually push up high enough for that 1.618, which is here at this 40.96. So this would tie in with the idea of having an additional fourth wave, looking to hold this 38.76, and then an additional fifth wave, looking for this target area here of this 44.36 to this 43.19. Now, if this is looking to continue here, what we could be arguing is that this is actually forming another wave 1. Now, if this is the case, we would need to hold the low that we have here on the retracement, which is sitting at this 34.85. So we'd want to see this complete a 5-wave move, find support again, and then we'd be looking for that possibility of a an additional third wave to the upside, looking for that bigger push. Obviously, until we actually see the price action follow through, we need to be aware of the bearish counts here. And really within this count, we'd only get a confirmation by a bigger move up towards the 65.48. So this is what we want to see for this confirmation of this bigger push to the upside here. Now, if we want to argue that this move is incomplete here, we could see a few things hang out within this structure. So we did cover this in the macro video, so make sure that you check that out for more information. So I'm going to just go over a couple of them within this. We could argue that we're starting to break down as a diagonal. Now, if this would be looking at the bearish case here, where we're actually looking at this as potentially a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, this would be looking to actually break down in three-wave structure. What we'd be looking for within these waves would effectively be this move completing to the upside as a wave 2, then seeing another 3-wave move to the downside. If we did have to come up towards this 50% area here at this 40 cent 11, this would actually look to retest these highs here, as well as bring us into this target box, which is sitting here towards this 40.42 to this 40 cent region. So that's an important psychological level, as well as that we do have a daily naked point of control on the bottom of this box and a weekly naked point of control on the top. So if we do just see this actually play to the upside as a corrective move and we fail to achieve those impulsive targets, we could actually see price start to break down in a 3-wave move before looking for a potential 3-wave move to the upside and an additional 3-wave move to the downside. Now, this is just theoretical, these target boxes here, based off of a 0.618 of the previous structure. And what I'd be looking for here is this actually forming a descending wedge shape pattern if this is the case. And we'd want to see this play out in 3-wave structure. Now, if we did get a diagonal here, we'd also need to be cautious, because this could actually just mean that we have a bigger corrective structure from further back here, where we have this as a flat. So if we do get either a diagonal here, we break down in a 5-wave move, this could actually tie into the idea of this actually being a flat correction here. And then that would actually mean that we could still have this as a wave 1, 2, or a wave A, B, and then we actually look for this continuation to the upside in a C wave. So just because we actually push down here doesn't necessarily mean that bearish. We could still see that potential that we actually see a reversal to the upside after this push to the downside here. Now, if we do move to the downside here, the C wave, typically a target area for this as a expanding flat would actually be between this 32.24 and this 38.59. Obviously, as an expanding flat, we'd want to take this A wave low. If this is going to be a running flat, we could actually see price action come into some of these higher areas here. So this 1236 at this 32.24 and this 1382 at this 30 cents 79. Now, if we do move down into this other yellow target box area, we do have some zones here, and we do have this between the 30.78 to the 28.82. Now, within this, we have a few things. We have some naked points of controls. We also do have the golden pocket of this move to the upside. So we need to just be aware that there is that potential that within this box area, if we had to move down here and potentially even look to swing fail this low or retest this channel, this would actually provided on the right structure, could actually look to complete this as a C wave before looking to push to the upside here. Now, if we want to look at the more bearish scenario here, where we actually see a bigger push to the downside, what we could actually see, and this will be valid for as long as we actually stay below this high of this 41.89. Now, what I'm looking for here as a potential rejection zone is actually this area here of this 40 cent 33 to this 38.24. If we do fail to actually break back above this and actually take this high, we could still see this play out as a bigger impulsive structure here. Now, confirmation would only come by a much deeper move here towards the zone of this 29.29, and then we'd be looking for this as a potential 1-2 here, looking for a third, an additional fourth, and a fifth. Now, this fifth wave could look to actually push us down here towards this zone of this 28.59 to this 27.46. Now, if we do see a push down into this level, what we need to be aware of is we would have crossed this 1618 of this first move over here. So this would mean that actually we have that potential of an additional fourth and a fifth, which could look to push us down into this zone here of this 26.84 to this 24.89. Now, technically speaking, as long as we hold this low here of this 23.97, this could still be that flat idea where this becomes A, this becomes B, we see a bigger C wave here, and we could still look for that potential to have a push to the upside afterwards. So we're going to have to monitor these moves here and actually see which way the count starts to play out here. Now we do have some other moves which we discussed in the higher time frame video, so really as long as we stay below this 43.47, we also need to be cautious. This could just be a bigger ABC pattern here, and we could actually see this come down. Now really, until we actually develop impulsive structure, we need to be cautious because we do just have corrective moves at the moment, and what I'm on the lookout for is the potential that this is a correction could actually look to play out in this way, where this whole move here we treat as a W, this is an X, and then we're looking for a Y wave to the upside. So I'll be looking at this as A, B, and then looking for the C wave. Now as a C wave, technically speaking, we come up to this 0.618 of the A wave already, so that would be of this A wave here, the orange one. Now this means that this could technically complete here. If however it does look to push up towards this zone of this 39 cent 40, this would actually tie in with a 1.236 of the wave W over here. So this is what I'm just keeping an eye on. We have already come up to this 1-to-1 technically speaking, so we need to just be cautious that if we do just see this play out one more time to the upside here, we could actually see something like a double top or a retest of the central line here, which is sitting towards just 39 cents. Obviously if we do look to push up higher here, this 40 cent area is also going to be a psychological level, and we do have some swing highs over here which I would be keeping an eye on if we do move up here. Looking at the weekly CPR lines here, this is quite interesting. We have actually managed to settle back above these central lines, and the fact that we've actually settled above these means that we could actually see potential for price to actually move up to this S1 line. Now this S1 line is sitting here at this 39.39. We have the S2 at this 40 cent 48, and then we have this S3 at this 42.47. These weekly ones will only be valid until the close tonight, because tomorrow we will have a new week started and we will have new CPR lines. So what we could actually see is price action be gravitated towards some of these levels. Now obviously we do have some zones that we were discussing there, this zone here of this 40.42 to this 40 cent, which will tie in with actually looking for this S2 line here. However, if we do look to actually retrace to the downside here, what we could actually do is look to find support on this lower line here, which is sitting at this 36.88. If we do actually start to break down in a bigger way, we could actually look to retest this R1 line at this 36.22, this R2 line at this 34.25, and this R3 line at this 33.16. So these aren't to be used on their own. You know, we need to use these in confidence with other indicators and techniques for a better understanding of where price could be going. Now we also do have this on the monthly here. What we can see is we've actually broken above this central CPR line now, and what I'm interested on here is that we do have this S1 line sitting towards this 39.86. So this once again would be quite interesting level. It would be looking to potentially bring us up into this target box here, as well as that, is like I said before, we do have these swing highs on the left hand side here, which I would be keeping an eye on if we do move up there. If we want to argue this is going to become an impulse, what we could actually see is the potential for a move up to this S2 line at this 42.30, or even this S3 line up here towards this 44.82. So that would tie in with that bullish standpoint. However, if we do start to lose these central CPR lines, what we could actually see is price action be gravitated to the downside, where we see a retest of this R1 line at this 34.92, this 32.42 as an R2, and the 29.98 as a R3 line. So this is obviously a monthly line. These are monthly lines here. This means that this could take place through the month, and it doesn't mean that we just have to either go up or down. What we could see is a move up into this, for instance, then a retracement back down into this, and then actually looking to push up later on in the month. But these can give us potential areas that we could see reactions off of. Looking at the Ichimoku cloud here on the daily, what we can see is that we are currently within the line. We are above the conversion line, but we do have this baseline sitting above us at this 40 cent 50. So this is another bit of confluence that we could actually potentially look to actually find resistance here. As well as that, we do have the top of the cloud, which is sitting here towards this 40 cent range. So I would be keeping an eye on this. If price action moves into this and actually rejects, what we could see is price start to fall through this cloud and make its way to the downside. Alternatively, Alternatively, if we start to see price break above this, we could actually see a retest and then a look to move away from this. Now, if we come down here into the 8 hourly, what we can see is that the top of this red cloud would actually also tie in with this target box here towards this 40 cent region. The top of the cloud exactly would be here towards this 40 cent 50, but it's actually would be looking for somewhere within this range as a potential reaction to this. So price can always move through these levels, but I would be keeping an eye on this because there is a bit of confluence within this. Coming back down here onto the 4 hourly, we can see that we've actually started to break above this cloud and we could actually start to find support. However, it is very thin here, so this means that the potential support that could come in here is not very strong. However, we do have the baseline sitting towards this 36.99, so if we do see price action move down in that 3-wave structure, looking at this as a 1-2, I would be keeping an eye on these levels here as a potential support zone that we could find. Finally, looking at this whole area as a range up the top end here, we can see that the point of control is actually at the top of this line here towards this 38.68. So once again, if we do see price action move back up into this point of control, this could actually be a rejection area. Alternatively, if we reclaim this, we could potentially look for price to be gravitated towards this value area high, which is sitting here at this 40 cent 91. As well as that, if we do see price actually look to fall to the downside, we could actually see price come back into this value area low, which is sitting at this 34.89. So I would be keeping an eye on this. Now, if we also throw a volume profile just on this local area here, we can see that we've actually broken above this value area high. If we did see price action look to actually come back down here, what we could see is a retest of this point of control that we have here. So I would be keeping an eye on that as a possible area that we could look to retest. If we do come back down here for an additional wave 2 and it's a bit deeper, we could actually look to find support lower down here within this range. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.